Welcome back to the shop, everyone. This week's video takes place in 2024 week 1, January 1st to January 7th, and we are just starting right back up on wiring on the headlights. So what we're doing right now is we are grabbing out the new LED headlights, and I'm grabbing some test wires, jamming out some music, and what I'm going to do is I just want to make sure that I have all my wiring correct, so when I put the ground on the headlight and then, power up the low beam or the high beams, that the light, the LED lights up correctly. So we're just going to do all that testing right now with a few little test leads. All right, now that we got the test leads done, we can go ahead. We've got our lights kind of clipped up, I think, and we're just going to, put the ground on the ground, test positive to the positive, move it around, make sure everything lights up as expected, and it does. So we are happy, we are good to go, and we're going to continue on with wiring the front end. So right now we're just going to put some ends on these wires and then put the high beam connectors on. Easy peasy. Right, so what I'm doing now is when I was doing some looking at the front clearance lights, marker lights, I realized that there's supposed to be 3 wires going there. So it's turn signal, clearance, and ground. And I only had turn signal and ground. So what I'm doing now, and I'm going to do on both sides, is I'm going to run a second wire from the marker light on the passenger side fender over to the front marker light. And so what I need to do is at the passenger side, I need to cut it back a little bit. I need to splice it in and, you know, cover it all up with heat shrink and do all that good stuff. So that's what I'm going to do on both sides. And yeah, I don't know if I terminate the wires with connectors or not, but we'll see. Yep, so just like my ground wire is cut back a little bit, the two wires go into a splice and then a single goes onto the connector. The same thing, I'm going to do the same thing on the power wire. Cut it back, put two in the one end, and then have the one wire just going out to the connector. And of course, heat shrink it all. Okay, so that is the socket for the front markers. So I'm going to put a DT connector on it, a Deutsch connector. And so I'm just going to cut the ends, strip the ends, put the and put all the pins in and put the ends on both sides, and away we go. Let's take a little break to say hi to Carburetor. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. So now that I've got the connectors on for the front wiring, the last thing to do is put a ring terminal on for the ground for the lights on the passenger side here. With the passenger side done, we are going to come over to the driver's side and do the exact same thing. Run another clearance wire from the side marker to the front, do all those connections, make sure the ground is there. It's literally just doing the exact same thing again. right, now that the driver's side is all done, let's do some cleanup. Well, now that cleanup and wiring is done, I'm going to try and do a bit of work on the brakes. So to do that, I'm trying to cut out a part on the plasma cutter, and it's just not working. So I do already have a part done up. I was hoping to get a newer, cleaner one, but at the end of the day, whatever, I'll just use the one that I have, and I'll deal with this stuff later. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on the front brakes here a little bit, and because I already have one of the brackets cut out, I'm just going to use the one that I had cut out, but we're going to lift up the car, we're going to take the wheel off just to get nice easy access to the brakes. And we have another visitor in the shop for a little bit here. We have 47, and he is so goddamn cute. But he's not really used to being in the shop, so he's just kind of all over the place, and so we'll throw him back inside where he's a little bit happier. So that right there is the very first part that I ever cut out on my plasma cutter, and you can see it's a little bracket to hold a brake fitting. So I've just marked the hole. It's a 1/4 inch hole I need. I'm just getting all the pieces out. But yeah, so that brake fitting goes through the bracket, and then the clip holds the fitting to the bracket. And yeah, I'm pretty excited that I designed and cut that out myself. I of course could have fabbed it the long way, but it's nice being able to get something done a little bit quicker. But you know, quicker is kind of, I'm gonna have to print out a lot more parts for that to be accurate. Yeah, so I just drilled a hole in the frame, and now I'm going to tap that hole out with 1/4-20. And so, of course, right where I drilled right in behind is one of the supports for the frame rail. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just screwing in this 1/4-20 bolt with the washer, and I thought I was gonna be good, but stupid me, the bolt was too long and it started bottoming out on the actual support in behind. So what happened is all of that metal kind of pulled out of the frame, and it stripped the hole, and it's just a useless hole. So you'll see I end up actually trying to like hammer just to make it a little bit flatter, but nope, that's no good. So you're gonna see here in a second, I just drill another hole beside it. I need to do a bunch of welding on this frame anyways, so I don't care that much. But yeah, just drill another hole beside it, retap it, shorter bolt, and then we'll get that bracket on. It's pretty nice in my eyes. So we're gonna fight getting this clip on. Just it's at an awkward angle, and you know there's a bunch of stuff in the way, but we do eventually get it on. All right, now that we've finally got that clip on, I've marked on the line where I want to cut it and where I want the end on it. So now I'm just cutting all the zip ties off. I'm going to pull that line out, and I'm going to take the line over to the bench and put a end on it. Having the right tools for the job makes this so much quicker and easier, and gives me a perfect flare every time. But it's not cheap. But brake lines, in my opinion, are super important, so I did not want to cheap out and take any risks on a bad flare or an off-center flare and leaks and any of that. So spent a little bit of money and got a really good kit. Now that the line is done, we're just going to go back under the car, and we're just going to put it back up into place, screw it back into the line lock, and get it ready to install in the passenger side bracket / line that we just put on. Alright, well folks, as we tighten this down, that is all the time that we have for this week. So as always, if you have stuck around this long, I would like to thank you for viewing. We'll catch you in the next one.